What I do. Today we're gonna talk about how to learn to be with yourself, right? So, oftentimes we're in a rush, right? We lack calmness. We are just basically in a constant high of all the substances that we engage with, right? Daily things such as food, maybe even drugs, alcohol, or just the small things that a lot of people do and are unaware of how they control our minds, right? Such as listening to music, food, um, scrolling, all those type of things, right? So this causes us to lack a calmness in ourselves that we will always be reminded with when we are put up with tasks where we cannot rely on outside world forces, right? For example, when I started coding, all of a sudden I needed to be with myself. You cannot listen to loud music and do coding at the same time. Some people do it, but in my opinion, coding is best done when you're just quiet, right? But that just goes with a lot of things, right? And that's with a lot of things, you just need to, everything, in my opinion, when you're just quiet, that's where concentration really comes from. Concentration is really just the quietness and you being able to go deep into that topic because of that quietness, right? But because oftentimes we lack those things, this causes us to stay on the surface of our life. We know that we have certain projects that could potentially make us great, but we lack the depth to go deep into those projects and actually get good within those things, right? So we stay on the surface with the addictions. And like I've said, I used to be there too until I really put myself in a situation, right, where I first became aware of, okay, this can no longer be my way of life. So like I've said, I would get in front of the computer and then all of a sudden I noticed it's too much chaos going on. So what would happen is I burned out quickly. And that's what will happen when you're not concentrated. People that are concentrated, they can, first of all, they get things done faster, and second, they can also, even if it cannot be done fast, they have the attention span to just go deep for a very long time. But I lack that. So what would happen is I would start projects, give up on them because I only get to the basic part, right? The basic parts, those were the things that I could do, right? Some things are just basic type of coding. I can do that without being deeply concentrated. But some things, right, when you get to the point of, okay, now I actually need to learn more about the coding that I'm doing, and you actually need to self-educate and things like that. That's where the depth really comes in. And when I reach those points in my projects, I would just give up because I lack the depth to truly zone out into the project and just finish it with true concentration, right? And that's just the cycle that I was always stuck in, and you might notice this with yourself too. So what I realized is, okay, I need to go from a point of being scared of my mind, because that's really where it comes from, right? All the distractions, we put those things within ourselves because we want to go away from the uncomfortableness of actually being alone. And those are things that started very early with me, and if I was aware of it at the time, I would work on it more faster, but I didn't notice it. I wasn't aware of it. So, for example, things such as maths, right? Maths are those things, right? Maths and just scientifical topics, those really show how much you know about something, because everything is a science, right? If you true coding is a science. When you truly learn how to draw, that's a science. And at a young age, I noticed that when I needed to do my homework, I just lacked the ability to focus. And at that time, it was out of my stubbornness. I thought it was something like, oh, I don't want to do it. But actually, it came from uncomfortableness, because no matter where you are in life, nobody at the end of the day likes bad grades. I do believe that a lot of people would do better in a lot of things if this is solved. So this is not even a problem when you're wanting to learn how to code or learn a new skill. No, this is a problem that is prevalent in all forms of your life, right? So I wasn't really aware of it. But now I know that, okay, I wasn't able to do my maths homework because I lacked the calmness to do it, right? And yeah, so I realized, okay, I need to work on that if I truly want to get my projects done and just improve my overall happiness in life and my overall effectivity in life. Because that's what it's all about. A quiet mind is like a compute is like a phone where the storage is just clean. It can take, if you would put the camera on a conversation, it will record the conversation. If you will put the camera in front of the code, it will focus on the code. Why? Because the storage is clean. And being distracted and having a mind that is full, right, is just like a full storage. You know, when your phone gives you those notifications of like, okay, you can no longer take photos, you need to delete your storage. That's basically what a full mind is. It cannot focus. It cannot put the lens on a topic and take a picture of that topic and truly soak in that knowledge, right? If you know, I guess you know what I mean, right? So I realized, okay, I need to stop running away from myself. I need to learn how to be with myself, right? So how I started doing those things was just, I stopped filling up my day with purposeless things just for the sake of hearing something or having something to distract myself with. So things that you need to stop with are things such as scrolling, right? Scrolling is just, the activity itself already shows it. You're just scrolling. There is no purpose in it. It's just a way to keep the mind busy without actually focusing on something. Sometimes, because I'm not a holy person, right? Sometimes I have my days where I spend days of scrolling, just days procrastinating. At the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I maybe did 4 or 3 hours of scrolling this day. What did I actually learn from those 3 or 4 hours? Nothing. And sometimes you even see interesting topics on YouTube or TikTok, but somehow you just don't learn from it because that's not your intention of scrolling, right? So that's important to notice. We can only truly learn with intention, and when you scroll, there is no intention. And same with the TV, right? The TV, there's not really a problem with watching TV, but even watching TV should have a kind of sense of purpose, right? Let's say you have a favorite TV show and you watch forward to watching that TV show. Then you kind of have a purpose, because as soon as you turn on the TV, you go to Netflix, you go straight to Cobra Kai, or you go to The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad. You go straight to your series. So it has, there's at least some structure in it. But when you just turn on the TV and you're just, oh yeah, because you have nothing else to do, and you're just trying to see something which will just take you away from the boredom, you know, that's something that needs to be stopped. And the same thing with eating. Eating is like, eating is how we give the body nutrition, right? How we feed ourselves. But a lot of eating is just done to reach highs and to distract ourselves, right? People that, there are people that will just take a slice of bread and put something on, but there are also people that would take a slice of bread, put something sugary on it, put some chocolate on top of it, put some, you know, that's not nutrition. Then now you're just feeding your anxiety, right? Now you're just trying to escape from boredom. Now you're trying to feel something from the eating, and it's not done with a purpose, which is just feeding the body. So that's also something that you really need to be aware of. And that's something that you need to be aware of. And the key to no longer distract yourself is just do nothing. You don't have to do magical things and start creating all of a sudden like a 24/7 productivity routine. No, that's not how it works, right? Just fill your time up with nothing, especially in this phase where when you just started with this, when you just start to really get to know yourself. Because that's the thing, when you're always distracting yourself, you don't really know yourself. You don't really know what's going on, because you know yourself through the distractions. You know yourself through, okay, sometimes I masturbate, sometimes I eat this, all this bad food, sometimes I scroll. That's how you know yourself. You know yourself on a surface level. But when you take those things away and you just lay on your bed or just sit with yourself, what will happen is your mind will, because that's also something that I always say, right? Your mind is a tool, right? Your mind wants you to do better. Even sometimes the chaos is big in the mind and it feels like it's breaking you down. That's not, you know, you always want to do better. So you also need to realize that, right? The mind will come up with solutions, right? You will come up with solutions, and through that you gain more possibilities, right? And that's just feeling the uncomfortableness of the truth, right? The truth is all the thoughts that come up when you're no longer distracting yourself. So what will happen is, you probably 9 out of 10 times, this is what happens, right? You start thinking stressful things. Maybe you think, oh, I'm broke. Or you start thinking about your loneliness, right? Or you would just start thinking about previous failures that you have made in your life. Those are all, you know, uncomfortable thoughts that 9 out of 10 times we want to escape away from. But the truth lies within those things. Because once you know the truth, now you can fulfill your time with a purpose. But first you have to know the truth, which comes from sitting with yourself and seeing the uncomfortable things, such as, like I've said. So maybe you've realized that you're lonely, right? Boom, those things happen. But now you realize it on a real level. You probably always vaguely knew it, but now you truly realized it. Now you can act, right? Now you can research ways. Okay, how can I improve my conversations with people? Or maybe you've realized, okay, I'm broke. Now you can focus on getting a job, you know? So those are all possibilities that will open up, and only those are all possibilities that will open up, but only when you put yourself in that in that position where you're truly lonely, you know, where you're truly with yourself. And you know, that's just important to give yourself that chance to realize those things. That's oftentimes the thing, right? When you're always distracted, you don't give yourself the chance to see the truth, because life is happening at a too fast pace, right? The all the notifications on the phone, all the Netflix, the video games, the masturbation, maybe drugs, maybe alcohol, maybe whatever, it all comes too fast, and it fills your brain with a lot of things, right? And you know, sometimes possibilities don't immediately come up, right? So sometimes you might lay on your bed for a half hour, maybe an hour, or you're just sitting with yourself, and you don't see the possibilities, and all you're left with is just stressful thinking. Those situations can always happen, and what you do in that situation is you just take a pen and a piece of paper and you start journaling with those thoughts. So you just write down at first you write down what you notice, right? So maybe you think about, okay, I'm broke, so you start writing about that. That's one of your worries. Then you let another worry go, like, so, oh, I'm lonely in life. You write those things down. Putting things on paper really changes it, because now you kind of let it go, right? It was first stuck in your mind, now you just write it out. It's like a form of self-therapy, right? And through that, you just give yourself more room to do better thinking. So eventually, right, you will see possibilities, you know? So yeah, that's the purpose of this video, for you to understand that uncomfortableness is something that you need to, look into the eyes and truly learn how to be with yourself, right? Through the things that I just mentioned, cutting out the distractions and giving yourself the time to think about, okay, what's really on my mind? And if that doesn't happen, you journal with those things, and through that, right, you will see possibilities come up. And once those possibilities come up, you can fulfill your time purposefully. And now you can truly make a routine of, okay, I just realized I'm lonely. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna read 15 minutes out of a book from about how to conversate with people. Things like that. That's how you start fulfilling your time, because now it's purposeful, because you realize, okay, this is on my mind and this is what I need to work upon. So yeah, with that, thank you for this video. If you want to see more of this content, subscribe and like this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I'll see you at the next video. I'm out.